Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
It is Valentine's Day in the movie graveyard once again. That's right. Unfortunately, we missed doing a Valentine's Day movie last year. I think before that, maybe the last one we did was Pretty in Pink. And then I think it all got started off with Scott Valentine's Day when we did My Demon Lover. And I always felt this movie was kind of like the counterpart to My Demon Lover thematically and spiritually, so to speak. So yeah, we will be watching with you today one of the most romantic films probably ever made. The 1987, what's so funny? The 1987 classic romance Date with an Angel.
The zaniest movie you'll ever see.
If Benny Hill directed a romantic comedy, it would be this movie. But yeah, so we're going to get it rolling right away. We don't want to give you guys blue balls on Valentine's Day. So we have it paused. I'm looking at the Blu-ray here. I'm not sure if this ever came out on DVD or not, but excuse me. But we have it on the Blu-ray. It's at the 36-second mark. There's like a brand new, obvious modern Studio Canal logo they jammed on there, but the real opening of the movie is with the original Studios logo, the trusted DEG Lion, the De Laurentiis Entertainment Group. Or boy, Dino De Laurentiis in the house, bringing the romance. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, he also produced another real romantic movie of all time was King Kong Lives, where King Kong had met a female gorilla, he had a baby.
Oh my god.
It was awesome.
That's too sexy.
It is. Like, they totally show them mating and everything.
Oh my god, really?
I'm pretty sure. We covered it on the show. Yeah, I got the DVD. But yeah, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, go. Have a pause at the DEG logo. When you hear me say the word go, please hit play on your remote. Flizzle flies.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's the DEG logo. It's the lion. Isn't the lion cool, though?
Yes.
Yeah, he is cool. All right, another great one was Maximum Overdrive, one of the best Stephen King movies. Dino De Laurentiis, another North Carolina production. All his movies, not all his movies, but after a while in the 80s, he was making all his movies in North Carolina, America. All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3, go. It doesn't roar or anything. It's just a lion.
Dang, you didn't even barely let people put their hand back on their play button.
Yeah.
After you was talking again.
Yeah. Well, they probably got fancy systems where they auto sync it up to show up. So yeah. One thing I want to say, obviously, I'm so glad this movie's on Blu-ray because how else would we get to watch it? But this is one of the most beat up film prints I think ever committed to Blu-ray.
See, I totally missed this whole beginning part. That's why I watch things with captions, because I always miss stuff if I don't.
So literally, if you were 10 seconds late coming into the theater, getting your popcorn,
you totally would be so confused the rest of the movie.
Yeah, because it starts out with the voiceover of God telling the angel to go to Earth and go take him, right?
I would have totally had a completely different opinion of this movie had I known what was being said there.
Yeah, God tells the angel to go to Earth and get him. But, they're just, laying it out there for you. They're not really being tricky with it. But, yeah. And, really the opening credits, and you kind of get this in a lot of 80s movies, is, you get, some really kind of trippy visual special effect credits.
I think they're all supposed to be angels or something, because it looks like there's, a lot of people saying goodbye in different languages.
Yeah.
So it's they're different angels, taking people.
Taking people to heaven, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, it's I know, this movie...
I'm going to have a totally different experience with the captions on with this movie now.
See, that's the thing, is you almost have to adjust to 80s movies if you're not, whatever, used to them. Because, they will go very zany over the top. But at the same time, it's it was the cocaine-fueled... attitude of the day is they will still in the mind of the filmmakers be very heartfelt and serious at the same time, as well as being very wacky. But I thought the beginning of the movie was kind of weird.
The most crowded party you'll ever attend.
Yeah, it's like obviously this mansion, this old southern mansion, there was a big party in the backyard, but then it rained, and we find out here it's the what do you call it, engagement party, which I didn't even know there was a thing of engagement parties, but yeah, there's an engagement party between Phoebe Cates' character and Michael E. Knight, who plays the main the male lead in this film, and it got rained out, so it's like everybody moved in, and like I don't
Also
know,
known as Tad from All My Children.
yeah, did you ever look it up? Was it really him?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to look up if he made any other movies. But yes, this is a very grindhouse film print of Date with an Angel. It's like almost as like speckled and filled with scratch marks as the 1946 Song of the South copy that we watched a week ago. Yeah,
we didn't participate in that.
No. But yeah, and it's like in between this party, you see outer space, you see the angel moving through outer space. So like in this movie, it's not like an alternate dimension. It's like the angels will really take your soul up through outer space to get to heaven. Mm-hmm. Found that to be interesting.
Well, how else are they supposed to do it?
Yeah. Well, just some movies like a little portal opens up of
not
light.
Outer space. Yeah. It's the sky.
Yeah. Look at this old lady in the background. Has got like an aerobics outfit on, even though she's like 75 years old. So,
I wonder if, like, the day that they were going to film outside, like, I wonder if they really did intend to film outside, but then it rained, so they were just like, oh, we got to move it inside the house.
No, like, because I think once the Jack Black style hijinks come in, like, I think that really only would have worked if people were crowded into a small area here. But one thing that this is like a legit 80s movie and not some like schlocky modern Netflix movie or show that takes place in the 80s.
Oh my god, I thought this scene was so weird with them too.
Yeah, like everybody's indoor, all these old people are indoors, and everybody's just smoking as many cigarettes as they can, trying to get as older and more leathery looking as possible. But yeah, like you basically set up, you meet Phoebe Cates' dad here, and you meet the guy's parents, and basically the dad is like a cosmetics conglomerate owner, and like basically because his daughter Phoebe Cates, which to be fair, it is Phoebe Cates, and she's always playing models in other movies like Bright Lights, Big City, but like yeah, he made her the poster like girl, whatever, of the entire advertising campaign, and now they're finding out that the cosmetic line with her. Her face as the model. Yeah, failed. It went in the shitter. So, like, this is a very, very 80s type thing here. Now we get introduced for the first time to the male lead character. He's playing a harmonica out in the rain. Like, he's under an umbrella, but it's clearly, like, who would be out here or whatever. And I would say he was almost like, with his character and his style here, they were almost trying to make him like a John Ritter type.
He did kind of look like
He kind of reminds me of Jack Tripper from Three's Company with all his wackiness. So yeah, so everybody's like, this is our party for us, like, our engagement, you're making me look bad, you're just out here in the rain. And she's like trying to say it jokingly, but like obviously he's making her look like a jerk off. Like it's just weird. But I don't know, like if I was him, I really wouldn't be inside either, like with all those 80-year-olds. Like there ain't nobody in their 40s, 50s, 30s in that party. It's just like literally like everybody's grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, well, it's like nothing but old people.
And I'm not saying that in an ageist way, like I mean, these people are super old.
For an engagement party for a young couple, it's mostly senior citizens.
Like, but advanced senior citizens. Not even like your cool 62-year-old uncle. It's like...
Oh my gosh.
Like your 83-year-old grandma. But yeah, he does this baseball thing with the tables here where he's running around in the mud and he's, and I'm stealing second base. I'm doing... And it's like, I don't know about you. Did you know this was going to happen? Like, even though I haven't seen this movie in 30 years... I knew for a fact he was going to slip on this mud, eat shit, yeah. He was just getting way too herky-jerky, and that ground, you could tell, was all stomped on with the mud.
Everybody's just watching.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I did think it was creative, because the way she kept saying, come in, come in. It was in, like, how he's, like, running home.
Yeah.
Supposedly, quote-unquote. And home was going inside.
Like, right off the bat, like, I mean, he doesn't really have, like, a bad attitude or anything. He's clearly, like, a goofball. So it's, like, you're really going into movie territory, like, why somebody like Phoebe Cates would be marrying a guy like this who clearly is just, like, off his rocker and into hijinks and wackiness. But, I mean, that's really, like, you know, the mold of the 80s like comedy lead guy. Like they're always in their 30s, but they acted like they were like 16-year-old kids.
But I was just confused at first because like I recognized her so much like from a lot of movies. I thought she was gonna be the like star of the movie, so I was like kind of confused at the beginning
I was gonna say it's really weird, and like I don't know if it was like
because I've never really seen him before. So, I mean, other than when he's older in the TV show, but like I've never seen him before in other '80s movies, so it seems strange that an unrecognizable face was the star of the movie.
yeah, and it's kind of weird too because it's like she is definitely the biggest star of the movie, and she has like pretty much a thankless like supporting role. Like it really reminded me a lot of that movie we watched, Mannequin.
Yeah.
And remember how he fell in love with the mannequin, and he had that like bitchy girlfriend that like, and but I mean she was like a nobody actress. Like she wasn't even, like it would be like if the most famous person in that movie was that bitchy girlfriend. You know, it was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. There was just something with this movie that I was just like, it wasn't clicking for me the whole time. Like, there was just something about it. But I swear, if I would have listened to that first little thing of dialogue right when the movie started, I think I for reals, would have had a completely different
Well, to be fair, like, this is one of those stereo surround movies, and that was, like, the very first thing spoken in the movie. And, like, we watched this other night, like, every 5 minutes I was constantly turning it up more, turning it up more. Like, this movie, like, never got loud enough. And even then, some of the dialogue was kind of muffled and shit. But, yeah, like this is very much just a shame that Jack Black wasn't old enough to act in this movie, because at the time, because, like, his buddies, and like they show these terrorists coming to the like rob the rich people, and they got Uzis and ski masks, and like just from the bat, I knew that was like
they were coming to save him.
Yeah, that he was like that was his crew, you know, like again in the 80s movies, a guy always has to have a crew of people. So they walk in and it looks like they kidnap him, and they say, we're taking this guy hostage, and you know we'll make demands later, and like they throw a grenade in the party, and like I'm really surprised like they didn't do the 80s thing and have like one of the old guys have a heart attack or something, you know.
I can't believe they left that cigarette there for such a long time, because it was smoking in the like wide shot of the room, and then it was smoking in that close up.
Yeah,
so they obviously left it there for a long time.
Yeah, it's weird when people drop a cigarette on the ground. Like, it literally smokes for hours. It's weird. But,
like, why doesn't it catch anything on fire?
It's just not hot enough. But, yeah, the guy sees it. They toss a grenade in. Like, the guy sees it finally. He realizes it's a, you know, it says Army Toys copyright on the side. It's rubber grenade. But they called and said, oh, by the way, you know, they let him know it was a joke. He's, like, super mad. Look at him, his eyes are. It looked like he was almost doing like a big comb right there. His eyes were rolling his face. But yeah. So
we're gonna get enough of orgasming for the rest of this.
Yeah, this is very this. How would they phrase it nowadays? It's
God, I don't know.
It's female orgasmic positive is how they would say. There's a lot of coming and going in this movie.
But yeah, I could tell that this was going to be all a setup to get him out of there because he was so miserable.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, in a way, like especially in the early part of the movie, I kind of, like, had a hard time, like, whatever. It wasn't until they really, they really wait, like, long into the movie to explain who he is and what his story is and stuff. But I was just like, why is he, like... Because, like, that was the thing that's weird. This is great, too, where they run over the fire hydrant.
And that lady almost.
Yeah. They're driving around the small town, North Carolina.
Oh, my God. It was so close to them.
Yeah. But in every other movie, like, Phoebe Cates is, like, the aspirational girlfriend. Like, Judge Reinhold would, like, fantasize about her in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And then Michael J. Fox from Bright Lights, Big City. She was, like, his model girlfriend that broke up with him. And he's, like, trying to get her back the whole movie and shit. And, yeah, in this movie, she's just like yesterday's pizza, you know what I mean? Like, this guy really, like he is faithful to her. It's weird, like
yeah, he tries to be the whole movie.
But he can't help but, like, fall in love more. And it's just like, yeah.
Nope. There she is. She crashed.
Yeah. So this one is, a satellite in space hit the angel. And you don't really see it. It's more from her point of view.
But see... but still, I'm like, like she crashed into the satellite, so she's pretty much knocked out right now, free falling. What were the chances that she was gonna fall into his pool? Like,
Yeah.
it just that's why I was so confused about everything because. I think even if I had heard that dialogue at the beginning, I'd still have this thought of like, but what were the chances that she was gonna fall into his pool, like to go collect him? You know?
Well, maybe she was still trying to fly to where she needed to go or whatever.
Yeah.
I was wondering why they took a magic marker with the blow up dummy and painted his hair black where it's blonde. But yeah, I didn't see that they had the eye thing on it. Said Patty. That blow up doll was supposed to represent. Phoebe Case. Like, he just has a whoopee cushion there. So yeah, so like the guys, they partied out so hard, like his place is just full of thousands of beer cans.
Damn, the door's all wet.
Yeah, the angel, when she crashed in the swimming pool, it caused like a tsunami tidal wave of swimming pool water to go into his apartment and wake him up. I thought this was a very interesting apartment building too.
Yeah, like, is this just like his own pool? I just realized that. Like, he looks like he's living in some kind of like
It looks like a private condo,
condo kind of thing, but it doesn't look like there's access to it from any other place.
Yeah, I think this is the back door, like where the pool. I think you just can't see it, but when you see like the front,
Oh, it looks like there might be.
yeah, I think there's other doors next to them,
Yeah.
and then I think the stairs. The people that live upstairs can come down to the pool too, or maybe they just have to walk around from the front. But yeah, it's like a nice ass pool, but it's really interesting because like the stairs are all wooden and shit. You usually don't see that in apartment buildings.
I like how they always make a point of somebody picking up feathers.
Yeah, her feathers. He's the only one that can like actually kind of touch the feathers. It seems like everybody else, when they pick up the feathers, they always explode and turn into glitter.
No, and there's a scene later on where one of the friends picks it up when they're trying to shove her into a car.
So here we have the French beauty Emmanuel Beard, I think is how you say her name, and I actually like kind of always knew who she was from movies back then. And I don't even think she was in that many movies, but she was very distinctive. She was one of the few French actresses that felt like that really came over and did American movies. Could be they were looking for somebody with like a exotic look, or maybe just Dino De Laurentiis.
Angelic look.
Yeah, knew her.
Looks like the little statues every Catholic person has in their house of angels.
Yeah, because they really had to bleach the shit out of her hair, because you could see that her hair was super blonde, but her eyebrows were dark.
She's not normally light haired?
I don't think so. I think I've always seen her with dark hair in movies, and her eyebrows are super dark, so...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So she did something here. You could see the flash out of the side of the screen.
Yeah, flash of white. She wasn't really naked before. Like, I couldn't see really anything.
She was just wet.
She was just all wet. Now she's dry, but now she has, like, the angelic robe on. But her wings are still, like, out and everywhere.
She's just all dry now, really.
Yeah.
So all her stuff's all fluffed up again in her hair.
Yeah. It could have been, too, though, that she was just supposed to bring somebody else to heaven, and then she crashed landed in his pool.
Yeah.
Like, maybe God wasn't talking about him specifically.
Yeah. Because it seems like that was really the only point of the angels, because it seemed like he was sending out a bunch of them, so...
To bring people back from all over the world. Because like, you heard them saying goodbye in a bunch of languages.
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting, too, you know, because she was drowning in the pool or whatever. He gives her mouth to mouth, but he just kind of does the mouth part. Like, he doesn't pump on her chest to get her to spit out water or anything.
Well, you know what's funny is that's actually how you do it now. Like,
really?
Yeah. They say that you don't... I guess because there's a lot of people who do it too hard and break the chest bone.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, that's how you do it now, which I'm surprised because, like, this is an old movie, you know?
Yeah. He actually did it right. You just, like, so if you see a, what do you call it, like a woman drowning, a good-looking woman drowning in the public pool, just start kissing her, she'll come back to life.
That's not what he did. He was breathing into her.
Oh,
Didn't you see him looking away, obviously taking breaths?
Well, I thought I just thought he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm kissing such a beautiful woman. Because, like, he, like, really...
because it was, like, awkward. I thought it was the way it was being filmed was awkward because he was, like, he was looking away from her, taking the breath, and then he would, like, do it. He would face her and do it. And he did it, like, 2 or 3 times. I thought that was interesting that they were taking the time to show that.
Yeah.
So here's the big conflict of the movie.
Yeah, conflict of the movie. She wakes up, she goes to spread her wings, and the top of one of them, like, it's not nasty, it's not like bloody or anything, but it's obviously it's like broken apart.
Well, this isn't Kevin Smith, you know.
Yeah, it's not like Ben.
Dogma.
Yeah, like Ben cut off his wings and they're all bloody stumps pumping.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Can't talk about it.
The movie's so old, how could it be too soon?
Because we just saw it. Hello.
Yeah. We just also saw Ben and his Duncan. I feel like Ben, like, we're talking about Affleck, in case you didn't know. Ben, he kind of was like the celebrity of the week.
What other Ben is there?
Yeah, because it's like he stole the limelight at the Grammys, and then he stole the limelight at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to have to mansplain me what's going on here. Okay. So now I'm understanding what's happening right now.
Yeah.
She can't do it because her wing's broken.
Yeah, she kissed him and it made him like knock out. He started snoring and she started hugging him. She was like you really kind of don't know, like, understand everything that's going on.
Okay, that was my main problem with this movie, is that I just didn't understand. And, like, I mean, obviously, us and everybody listening to us right now on this podcast doesn't have their volume up. Yeah. But she makes these noises that...
She's kind of like...
Yeah, she can't speak.
They're like bird noises.
Weird seal noises.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think they're supposed to be like bird noises because she has wings, but yeah.
Yeah, but so like you can't really, and they're not really like expressive kind of noises, so it's not like you get an idea of what she's trying to express really. So like that whole scene there, like I didn't understand like why she had to kiss him, and then the whole movie she's like constantly trying to kiss him. So I just was like, what is happening here?
Well, also too, it's like I didn't understand when we watched it the other day, like why he knocked out and sleeping all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And like she puts her arms around him and she starts glowing.
Yeah.
And then like her wings kind of start to move, but then she's like in pain because her wings broke.
Where did that bird go, by the way?
Yeah, the bird just went. Well, the turtle too. They keep showing this turtle. It's like a running joke at the beginning. The turtle's always walking around the apartment, but it's like why? Like what is it? But no, but it like I don't think you can really criticize it in terms of saying it's like a bad movie or that it doesn't make sense. But it's just one of those movies like you don't really get what's going on until the second time you watch the movie.
Like you have to really pay attention to the little things that are happening, because if you miss something, you're just like, what? Why is this happening?
Yeah, like I think it'd probably be easy for people just to but I would guess that this movie, probably the majority of people who did see it back at, like I know I saw it through cable. It was like I actually first heard about it from my cousin Derek and his friends. Like we're just hanging out whatever in the basement, and then flipping through was on TV, and they're like, oh yeah, it's this movie, blah, blah, blah. And like I kind of feel like that's what you would do. I mean, I know we brought this up a billion times on shows episodes before. But like back in the day of movie channels, like I mean, we do it even now. Like we see the same parts of the same movie over and over.
Yeah.
Like you would get familiar with movies, like sometimes even before the first time you really would like sit down and like
I try not to do that.
Yeah.
If there's a movie on that I haven't seen yet and I want to see, I won't keep it on. I'll change it to something else.
But I'm sure probably the people that did watch this a couple times on movie channels back in the day, like it was probably the same effect as like we were having. Like you really need the second viewing to totally get it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the first time you watch it, you get the movie. You get it's a madcap comedy.
See, like, this thing, like, how she kept holding her hands out. Like, you don't really understand what she's trying to do until the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, too, it's like... So, I mean, spoiler alert. Like, there's no reason to keep the audience and, like, whatever. Because either they're watching the movie and they know the movie, or they're... I would suspect most people probably don't want to watch the movie. They just want to hear about it, see if it interests them.
See, I just noticed on this part when she was mouthing her... I was so distracted by her seal noises before. Her mouth was actually saying up, up, up. Like, yeah. So it's like she actually does look like she's trying to communicate to him in his language.
So again, like, because this movie is about to have 45 minutes of nonstop Jack Black style hijinks. Like, because his crew is now here to wake him up and shit. And I thought it was weird, too, that, like, these guys are kind of, like, all the same looking. Like, the spike hair guy's different, but the other one, like, they both look the same, just one's more blonder, one has dark hair. But like basically, and you would never guess it, and the movie dances around it, or it actually drops breadcrumbs the entire fucking time, but you just won't catch it because you don't expect it in an '80s wacky movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason she wants to wrap her arms around him and fly him up to heaven is he really is supposed to die soon, and she can like sense it. Like whether she was like supposed to go find him specifically or somebody else, she can apparently sense it in him. Mm. And, like, they just drop hints early in the movie that he always has headaches and he's always taking aspirin and shit, but they don't talk about it in detail till, like, way later.
And really, too, like, you know, for somebody... I mean, the only reason I really watch 80s movies is because of you, and, like, you generally watch the, like, fun, lighthearted ones, you know? Yeah. So, like, I just, like, those are the ones that we watch that you show me, you know, and, like... None of them have had like a serious thing like that in them before, so like the thing with the headaches and the aspirin kept coming up, but never did I ever think like he actually had like something serious, you know? I mean, I did like say like one time like I think he has cancer or something, or like or tumor or something, I don't know, like, but I really didn't think that was actually what was happening with something serious. So, yeah, it was like, it catches you out of left field because, like, you don't expect that.
And if you don't really understand, like, what she's trying to do with him, you think she's just horny all the time.
That's what I felt. Like, I just felt like she just was constantly trying to, like, get up on him and stuff. And I was just like, it just made it unenjoyable to watch because you don't really understand what's happening.
So one thing that's cool about this movie is like you get in a lot of like, I don't know, fantastical whatever movies where people like they're in disbelief, and I like this that everybody that sees her,
I guess that's an angel.
Yeah, everybody believes she's an angel because like they do this thing where like she kind of glows all the time, and especially men fall in love with her. Yeah. But then also, I mean, she has giant bird wings coming out of her back. It's not like Splash where like Daryl Hannah would like she would go in between mermaid and human. She'd grow legs, you know. It's not like that. Like, even though I think this movie was directly made, like, probably cynically as a cash-in on Splash, because I think Splash came out maybe 3 years before this. This is a funny part, too, because they keep going to this convenience store, and this girl, like, I thought this girl was going to end up being, like, more important, like, one of the guy's girlfriends or something. Yeah. But it's just kind of really, it's just like we had a location at a whatever convenience store we could film at. But, what I was going to say is, like, yeah, like I think this was like a direct whatever, you know, inspired by Splash, but it's a very different movie. Like, it's like even more broader comedy than even Splash was, and so Splash was a pretty broad comedy, but this one, like, it really gets over the top and wacky, like, as it builds and builds.
I've never seen Splash.
Well, if we watch it on Disney Plus, you won't get to see Daryl Hannah's butt. Because that's off limits.
I would never watch any movies on Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus, it's like, you know, like, you're going to see fucking Lilo and Stitch climb into a fucking pizza box, you know, like, you know you're going to get the fake version of the movie on Disney Plus. But,
So, basically, right away, this friend that he's yelling at wants to cash in on them, quote-unquote, owning an angel.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the big, villain of the movie.
Yeah, so, like, right off the bat, like, he's supposed to be on his way to Phoebe Cates' house to apologize to her dad, but instead he's trying to help the angel, and, like, he kind of never really makes it over there because he's trying to help her out. But, like, they just went to that convenience store being like, oh, we need breakfast, and they just go through, like, grabbing all these bags of potato chips and sodas and shit. But, like, yeah, like basically already, like, from seeing her the first time, his friends want to sell her to the world. And basically, he, like, if you notice, like, he keeps getting drawn in and wanting to kiss her, like, her angelic charm, I guess.
But she knows she's injured now, because the first time she tried to take him, she couldn't, because she was injured. So, like, now, why does she keep trying to kiss him like that?
I think it's just, like... she just fucking thinks it's gonna work, you know what I mean? Like,
That's all she knows?
Yeah, like, she's kind of, like, simple. But, like, I think it's just, like, maybe she thinks, like, she's strong enough now, or, like, you know what I mean? Like...
But, like, now it makes me feel bad for him more, like, how he keeps having those headaches.
Yeah.
He keeps bringing it up.
So Phoebe Cates shows backs up and he sees the angel and he keeps a blanket wrapped around her to hide her wings or like to help her. But Phoebe Cates thinks like she's like, you know, she even says, "Oh, she's in your blanket." We got to talk about Phoebe Cates' car though, because I think this was the most important thing of the movie in terms of
really
her
quick,
character.
like I feel bad for him because he's trying to be honest with her. Like she's an angel. Like he's trying to like still be with her and like tend to the relationship, and she's like such a. Anyways, go on about.
It's
go on about the awesome car.
Yeah, Phoebe Cates is awesome. I'm guessing early '80s. Red Corvette with T-tops. T-tops are so, like, underrated. Like, I know they were a pain in the ass, supposedly. Like, supposedly they leaked and shit. But they were such a cool compromise between a convertible and a regular hardbody car. But, yeah, she, like, peels out of there. Like, her passenger door flies open. I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be an accident or what.
Did you notice how he looked up and he was like, "Why me?"
Yeah.
That's weird. Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
He doesn't know he's about to. He does. Yeah. I mean, he never knew. Like, it's not like he went to the doctor and he knows he's got 6 months to live. Or, I mean, he don't even have 6 months to live. He has like a week to live, basically. But yeah, he's just trying to help the angel get back to heaven. So, you know, he goes. This is just kind of like a hijinks scene.
Oh my god, this is the one drives me crazy.
He goes to a Catholic church to try to ask their priest for help. You know. And, yeah, there's just, like, this guy coming on confession. He sees the angel, and he's, like, so whatever, taken back, that he just bumps into, like, the candles there. And he walks out, and his arm's on fire, his jacket's on fire. And he just doesn't care. He's so happy. But then when he gets out, like, you hear him screaming from, like,
when
the
he's
fire.
out of the view of her vision of her and her trance. Then he yells out.
Yeah. But I gotta say, like one thing, like the actual visuals of this movie and how they depict her as an angel, like it's like weird. It's like it just they kind of do this thing where they always have special lighting on her like all times.
Yeah, she always has that shine.
But it just works. It's like
glow.
Yeah, she's so perfect. Like she literally looks like an angel in this movie. It's hard to describe, but she looks like what you see in like old books and paintings and stuff.
You don't think she's wearing a wig?
Who?
Her. Like, her hair kind of looks like doll hair.
She might be, or at the very least extensions, but, like, when her hair was wet, it didn't really look like a wig.
I like this part.
Yeah, so she sees the kind of a white porcelain statue of Jesus, and she's, like, taken aback, and she drops the blanket, and it's really cool. She, like, kind of kneels down, and her wings spreads out, and she's admiring Jesus and, like, touching him. And, like she kind of looks like she's part of the sculpture. It's really cool.
Well, there's, like, a famous, like, it's, like, a really commonly used visual of an angel, like how she's posing with him. Mm-hmm. It's a commonly used photo that people have in their houses.
Yeah. And
it has, like, a quote with it.
But it's, like, a really cool visual. It's, like, again, like, it's not the type of thing that you, like, see in a, you know... That's why this is a good premise for a movie. Like, you don't really get this kind of thing in your average wacky comedy. Yeah.
But, like, I just don't get this, too, where it's, like, these people are so religious, and, like, why are they getting scared? It's, like, it's an angel. You shouldn't be scared. Like, well, the guy wasn't scared, but she gets scared.
Yeah, there's, like, kind of, like, a weird thing in 80s movies where, like, yeah, people get scared about shit. And, like, it'd be different if, like, you saw, like, a werewolf or something, but it's just a pretty and docile female angel with wings, you know?
Oh my gosh.
I think this movie and then those prophecy movies of Christopher Walken, I think those are the only movies I've ever seen that had like angel storylines.
Look, the wings.
Yeah, their wings actually felt. There's really good special effects. Like I never felt the wings were like hokey or not real looking. Like the feathers, everything on them looks really good. It's like usually when you would see like kind of supernatural comedies back in the day, like Zapped or something, like all the effects and everything would be so low budget and hokey, but like yeah, they actually do it good. Richard Edlund from Boss Effects, if you guys are familiar with any of the 80s movies, like he did a lot of the good special effects back then. They did all the outer space stuff and angel stuff in this movie. It all looks good.
It's just, like, why are you looking away, dude? Like, it's an angel. Like, oh, like, it drives me crazy.
The old man priest, like, talking to him, but like he won't look at the angel basically, and he's just like, look, but
It's
she's
like,
like,
what do you think, she's naked?
Yeah.
Like, she was completely clothed.
because that lady got scared and screamed. Like he thought they were doing like pranks in the church and refused to look at her or whatever.
He could have had a special experience with an angel.
So like, if I'm remembering, I think the guy in this movie, I think his name is Jim, but it's like Jim's parents here, and like his dad's like a pretty like nice like guy, but his mom is his mom is like, I don't know, like she was really horrible, and she's just so happy her son.
He was gonna marry into money.
Excuse me, yeah. She's so obsessed with the idea of him marrying Phoebe Cates because her dad's rich, and supposedly he works at the cosmetics company too, even though you never really ever see him at the work, because of what the plot of the story is. He's too busy to go and work, I guess. But yeah, Phoebe Cates goes to his parents' house, all crying. She's like, and this is, I'd say from this point in the movie on, this is where like it's the slow descent into terribleness for Phoebe Cates in this movie. Like,
she starts going down the drain.
Yeah. And like, maybe it was just appealing to play in like a broad comedy like this or something. But like, yeah, it's just such a weird part for her. I mean, because like, I don't know, like maybe I overestimate it. Like, sometimes our perception of people's careers is different than what it actually is. Like maybe Phoebe Cates really didn't get offered that many good parts in her career or whatever. Because she did retire pretty early, intentionally, to just go focus on her family. Like maybe she was like, when I was watching this whole time, I was just like, Phoebe Cates did this part, you know what I mean? Because I mean,
look how funny she looks.
Yeah. So
just holding it in her hands.
So like this movie, like, what I was gonna say is like, I could see this movie possibly in doing this fucking ridiculous role, where she's pretty much just a comical, weird doormat woman.
But they really made her do some weird ass shit in this movie.
It
turned me off. I was like, ugh.
They did. But that's what I'm saying. Like maybe there's like, she's like, I'm not getting any good roles anyway.
This is funny.
Yeah. So like, yeah, like, so
why did it open?
Yeah, like, I'm guessing there's some product placement in this movie, because they're in the parking lot of this Wendy's, and they're eating the Wendy's hamburgers, and you see all the labels on the cups and everything. But yeah, he's trying to teach her how to eat a hamburger.
But why did it open?
I guess because she was squeezing the bottom, and there's like 2 slices of cheese on there, and they weren't melted at all. Like, they were hard pieces of cheese, so...
It looked like a face that was gonna, like, eat her.
Yeah, it looked like a mouth opening up back at her when she was, like, trying to eat it, and so it scared her. But then she ends up eating the French fries, and she likes the French fries. To the point, like, she eats hers, and then she eats his. But, yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. I kind of like this, too, like, when they would have, like, magical characters in movies, and they would always give them, like, childlike qualities, or have them be dumb. I don't know. It's kind of like an old genre, but...
But it's bad for her. Don't eat it.
Yeah, her stomach will start gurgling in a second. But, and then his boys they're looking all over town. They want to kidnap that angel and take her to go exploit her. Man, she's woofing down those fries. I told you this when we were watching.
She's laughing.
Yeah, she was laughing. I told you this when we were watching. I miss them old style Wendy's fries. They changed their fries, and they're not the same.
Everybody changed their fries except for McDonald's.
Except for McDonald's, yeah.
Dang.
I like this gag of where the guys drive by and they see her, they stop and they back the car up into traffic, but all the traffic almost crashes around them. I thought that was a funny sight gag. Oh yeah, she bit part of the cardboard package off of the fries.
They found her.
Yeah. This is like a tiny thing, but of course, like, there's another thing too, where it's like every guy in the 80s movie had to drive like a real shit box of a car. And, yeah, like, the shit with his car door is, like, tied together with rope. Like, yeah, I found it so extremely distracting. I just wish he just had, like, a regular car door that opened and closed in this movie. Look at that blanket back there of Kidney in his parents' house. It's weird.
Yeah, that's why, I don't know, whenever people talk about JFK in a bad way, I'm kind of like, you have no idea what he meant to the households in this country.
No, even when I was a kid, JFK was still a big deal. JFK was like the gold standard of everybody who ran for president in like the 80s and 90s. It was like, why can't they find another JFK?
This is my least favorite part of this movie. I don't like that.
Yeah, so his friends like lure her out of the...
that makes me sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just good filmmaking. His friends lure her out of the car with french fries, and like it's like you're teasing a dog with food. They're waving them in front of her. She's like reaching for him. They keep pulling him back, trying to lure her out of the car.
It makes me feel yucky.
But it's funny how like everybody, like the Wendy's must have been like the cool spot in the town, because like everybody in the town was like cruising in there. Like there's like a cool Honda CX or CRX. There's a cool I can't remember if it's Camaro or Trans Am comes by here, black one, and yeah, he calls his house and talks to Phoebe Cates. She just slams the phone on him. But
she's like, no, quit doing that.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not gonna fall for it.
And there's like a little bit of continuity here. Like this car like drives by him right here, and then watch in this next shot, look, now it's coming back up on him again. But yeah, they try to steal her, but he got there in time. Which is kind of funny because like they do steal her later on, and you're kind of like, how come they just didn't have it happen here?
Bite his hand.
Yeah. But I gotta say, like, this part of the movie, because like he's so mad at his friends because he knows what they're trying to do and he doesn't agree with it, with exploiting her. Like, I almost was like wondering if like at this point like they really were going to become like, because like honestly they're his buddies and they're his crew, but you don't really see them do anything like really, like they're really more like bullies than buddies in the first half of the movie. The way they kidnap him and they're always ragging him and shit. Yeah. But they don't really rag each other. They're just all three of them are always ganging up on him and doing shit.
Hey. It's like he didn't even look to see if she was in the car.
No, he just like kicked the car door shut. She does a good job though, like looking at him and reacting to his things.
I don't know. I feel like in this scene, like all the boys in this scene were just not like paying attention to like taking care of her.
Yeah, they were like all semi-abusive and shit.
I don't know. Things just didn't look right.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like
she's all sheepish.
Yeah. He's like, "What happened to the fries?" And she's like, "Oh," and then her stomach starts gurgling.
Her stomach.
Yeah. Because she didn't drink any of that drink. She would drink some of that Coke. Let it wash down better. But, because, I mean, unless they're just, I don't know about them or whatever. Like, they really don't make, like, comedies and stuff with, like, these fantastical premises. I mean, they were all over the 80s. We had, like, Teen Wolf and all that. Like, there's just all kinds of weird, wacky shit. What did you think, like, when we were watching this? Because I assume you had no knowledge of this movie before the other night, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what did you think, like, we were watching the movie and, like...
Is your favorite part?
Yeah. So, one of the dogs from the Resident Evil lab is loose in this neighborhood. It'd be, before they get turned into zombies. It's pretty much like, this was the debut of the Resident Evil dogs. And he's like, "Oh no, that dog! He always tries to attack me." Blah, blah, blah.
Use the stock footage.
Yeah, and like the dog comes running up to attack them, and then she just stares at it and turns it into a nice puppy. You may or may not hear sirens in the background. Our town is constantly under siege.
So you were asking, what do I think of what?
Like doing like a comedy movie, but like doing it with like a supernatural premise type thing.
I mean, it's fine. I don't see a problem with it. It's just it becomes difficult when you're not getting like your messages across the way you want to, the way you intend to, like how she can't talk. Like, you gotta make sure she's acting. Basically, you need to get an actor who knows how to act without talking.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that's kind of like, it relies on that a lot. And I think that was kind of one of the things that was hard about this one. Was that, sometimes it seemed unclear, like, what was supposed to be happening in it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't have a problem with it at all. You just gotta make sure you're doing it right.
I mean, they don't really make comedies anymore anyway. But like, why do you think it is that they kind of abandoned like the?
Just noticed it looked like they put like red eyeliner on her eyes, or like pink or something.
Yeah,
I think because they just abandoned comedy. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
But like when you got more into the '90s, I would say really the Jim Carrey era, like because Jim Carrey was so funny, like because he started out with like The Mask even, which like kind of is in this vein.
Yeah.
But like once like they did kind of like Dumb and Dumber, they're like he just needs to be a guy in the movie, and like that's all we need.
I think because at that time there was actually somebody who could do funny physical comedy, and they didn't need to. He could create characters that were like absurd enough to carry on their own.
Yeah.
You didn't need a supernatural kind of unbelievable thing because you had the talented actors who could do, extraordinary characters that were human.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be why, because, I mean, he wasn't the only one. Like, there were other, comedic actors, too, that could do stuff, but that's the only thing I can think of. I think he has a Ringling Brothers
poster. Yeah, Ringling Brothers Circus poster or sign in his apartment. But yeah, the Phoebe Cates' dad comes in, like, he's pretty much, like, came to beat his ass, but then when he saw the angel, he turned all nice. And
he got into her trance.
Yeah, and then, like, once she walks away, they go inside, like, it wears off, and then, yeah, same with the dog. Once she goes away, the dog... This dog is so mean. Look at him showing his teeth.
So we were talking about how do they get the dogs to do... Because this is the second movie we've watched within the last, I don't know, a few movies that we've watched, where the dog has made that face like that without attacking.
Yeah.
And, like, we were talking about that, like, how do they get them to do that without attacking?
Yeah, because, like, normally when a dog shows teeth and growls, it's, like, because it's aggressive or whatever. But it's, like, how do you get them to show the aggression without, like, I mean, I get that you train them to do it on command, but is it just, like, they're just doing that, but they don't have the internal, like... Anger. Emotion, anger to like want to.
But how do you train a dog to do that? Like, how do you train them to be fake angry?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like a continuity thing or whatever, but if they were like supposedly at his door looking in the front room, that poster's not there now.
The exterior is different from the interior.
Yeah. I'm guessing
they're in a different location.
I'm guessing this interior was just at the soundstage in North Carolina.
Funny.
Yeah.
And then it kind of looks like there's stairs outside.
Yeah, because there's upstairs apartments in there too.
But there's nothing like that on the outside of his place.
Yeah. But
So she's trying again to bring him in.
Yeah. And the reason he never like kisses her. I like this part too, where she just makes the doors close on her. He pretty much rebuffs her, and she just gets sad. And then the doors she's staying at, they're kind of like French doors; they close on her.
But see, like all of this, like the multiple times that she keeps reaching out to him like that, like you don't know what she's trying to communicate. And like again, because I missed that beginning part, the whole time that we were watching it, I was like, why does she keep doing that? Like it was getting so annoying. Like I was getting annoyed with her because I was like, why does she constantly want to be just hugging him and kissing him? Like it just, if you don't understand the premise of the movie, like, and I think it really is a thing of like you don't understand it until the end of the movie, and then you're like, oh.
They really wait like literally for the last 10 minutes of the movie to explain what was going on.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they maybe could have had something more in it. Like maybe if they would have had another scene with like God talking to her after she realized her wing was injured.
Yeah.
Maybe if they would have had him, like, had some sort of communication again with her, saying something like, you know, you will heal in time, or, I don't know, something, but remember to bring him back, or, I don't know, something like that. Like, if they would have just said, kind of reminded you again of something, I think it would have been more understandable, but yeah, I don't know, I was really confused for a lot of this movie.
Well, I think, too, like, I think the reason they put all that shit off to the third act pretty much in the end is like we also should say too the father, because Phoebe Cates' ad campaign failed. Now he like that's kind of a thing with these movies. So
there's kind of like two villains in this movie.
Yeah, like they're always
three
like,
really, because now the girlfriend too.
Like back then, they were always oh, we just got to find the right girl for this, right girl for that. And it's just like, yeah, like now because he's seen the angel, he's like, we'll put her face on the posters and then we'll sell all these cosmetics. Which I don't even know if that's really like, I know cosmetics and like perfume and shit like is pretty much all marketing, but like I don't know if it's like just that, just the face of the person that's going to make the product like all of a sudden better and sell, you know?
It depends, because I mean, you need to choose somebody whose complexion is good and all that stuff, and make them look good or whatever.
But like,
People
don't you
buy
think
into it? I guess.
don't you think anybody who's ever appeared on that kind of thing like was a professional model? You know what I mean?
Well, of course, but we don't think about that when we see that stuff.
Yeah.
Like initially, like
We just see.
I mean, the makeup industry is based on a woman's low, self-esteem on themselves. So
Yeah.
when you see somebody, who you think looks pretty or whatever, like the advertising is supposed to make you believe that it's those products that are making her look that way. And when your self-esteem is low enough, or not self-esteem, but just your own personal, how you feel about yourself, your flaws, like when you have a low enough feeling about yourself, like you'll be easily convinced that those products are going to make you look better. So
Yeah. So
I mean, it does matter, I would say.
yeah.
It's just the psychology of all that.
So now you have both his friends, and then his fiance's dad wants to exploit the angel for profit and gain, pretty much.
I was getting scared.
I know. Yeah, he takes her to the Salvation Army to get her some clothes, like pretty much just a big over jacket, a hat, sunglasses, and a pair of shoes.
And the worst pair of shoes you could give to anybody who's not used to wearing shoes.
Yeah, instead of flat shoes, he gives her like they're boots, but they have probably like a 3-inch heel on them. Yeah.
Oh my god.
She can't walk in them. He has to like pull her along the street. So if the premise was based on Splash, kind of, like this is really where it gets influenced by Teen Wolf. It's like his friends are kind of like how in Teen Wolf Styles made all that junky fucking Teen Wolf merchandise to sell at the high school.
Angel Cola.
Yeah, like they're at this like law office and they're pitching all the different products that they want to market the Angel as, which is like it's kind of weird because like this guy they're pitching the shit to. He hasn't seen the angel. He doesn't even really get like that. This, I mean, I guess maybe they could say like, "Oh, we found a real angel" or whatever. But yeah, they just want to cash in. And this is like the one scene I kind of felt like could have got cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
Because like he goes to the library to get all these books about angels. He's going to figure out basically like how to send her back or how to help her or whatever. But it just ends up being this like, I don't know, slapstick comical scene, and they get thrown out of the library.
And really obnoxious, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the sound she starts making.
So yeah, he shows her a picture of angels in a book. She starts like squealing her high pitched bird squeals, and then like all these like old people and shit, they're like shh, telling everybody to be shut up. So they run out because she won't shut up, and then like. Basically, a guy's going to pick up one of hers. There is a cool thing where her wings are lifting up underneath her jacket, though. I thought that was fun. Like, her wings are trying to spread, but she got the big jacket on.
It's funny how she couldn't see when she had the sunglasses on.
Yeah.
She, like, totally couldn't see, and then once he took them off, she was like, oh!
Yeah.
Like, as if she was in complete darkness.
Like, this almost seems like a scene that should be able to... Yeah, this guy picks up one of her feathers and just explodes into dust.
Well, but it's the only time that it happens. That's what's weird. So I think they probably did just, like, add this scene in randomly or something.
Yeah. They're like, oh, let's punch up some goofy comedy. Now, this is where Phoebe Cates kind of goes, like, full simple Jack here. Like, basically, he brings the angel to the mansion. He wants to show it to Phoebe Cates to make her understand. Because this whole time, she thinks he's having this affair with this girl.
She loves the swan.
Yeah, she starts throwing, like, all this shit out. Like, I'm guessing all the stuff he gave her, a bunch of cards and shit, and this stuffed animal swan, and the angel keeps holding it.
She thinks it's real.
Yeah. And like he keeps saying, she's an angel, and like she's like she thinks that like he's basically like sweet talking his mistress or whatever.
She likes it.
Yeah, so she turns the sprinklers on them, and the angel goes to play in them. But I don't know if this is maybe it was intentional, but she just eats shit on the lawn.
Fell on her face.
Yeah, like right on her face.
You think she turned them on purpose? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, because like why did they just come on us? And then she went from upstairs to downstairs, like.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then this is where Phoebe Cates starts drinking, and we see the first of her swigs out of a bottle of gin.
This guy's still trying to go up.
Yeah, it's like very Benny Hill here. The dad goes back to the apartment, and like he gets out of the car, and the dog comes chasing the car away. He has to get out of there. Finishing our drinks here. I had Mountain Dew Code Red with the kaiju on the can. You had what? Pure Leaf Extra Sweet Tea?
Pure Leaf Extra Sweet Tea. Real brewed tea.
That's the good stuff right there.
We were drinking all the caffeine at 12:52 a.m. on Monday morning.
Is it 1 o'clock in the morning already?
The last day of our vacation.
Yeah, it's the last day of our vacation. No, this is Valentine's Day. How did you know the exact time? Were you looking at your phone or what?
Yes.
Dang. You're sneaky. I didn't even see you over there with it.
Well, I keep it over here because I don't want it to mess up the microphone.
Yeah.
Just in case phones still do that. Make those weird noises.
So this is like kind of the part of the movie I started really liking the angel. Like he's using the phone booth. And, like, just all the neighborhood animals come and gather around her. All
Even the ones across the street.
Yeah. Like she starts shooing all the dogs into his car. And, like, pretty much, like, the rest of the movie, she's just surrounded by a bunch of dogs.
That was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny when she was putting them all in the car.
Yeah. So, now getting back to some hijinks, we cut back to the crew of friends. And, like, again, because it just has to be as over-the-top as possible, they live in an old abandoned building that was like a theater supply warehouse. So like they live in this big rundown warehouse of like all these dusty props and shit. Like it looks like the lair of like a Batman villain or something.
That somehow has a phone line.
Yeah, it has a phone line. And like there's even notices outside that the place is condemned, but yet these guys just live in here fine and they have utilities and electric and stuff. Which that wouldn't be a bad way to live in your early 20s or whatever, how old these guys are, but like...
No, I've lived in a storage room like that. It's not fun.
Yeah, but yours wasn't full of all wacky props and novelty items.
I guess.
Yeah.
But it still had no insulation and or heating or air conditioning in it. So
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
But they have, like, you can see in the background the guys' beds and shit in there, and, like, they have a full kitchen. But, it's like
a Marilyn Monroe refrigerator.
Yeah, they have a Marilyn Monroe refrigerator. It's weird.
I wonder what that thing is on the top of the fridge.
Yeah, it's like a pagoda top.
Here's their jar of pickles.
Yeah, this guy brings a jar of pickles, and, he grabs a slice of bread and he puts one of the giant pickles. It's like the big round pickles. It's like something you see at like a bar or something.
He makes a gourmet sandwich.
Yeah, a pickle sandwich. And then he like bites through the bread.
But he slathered it with mayonnaise.
Yeah, he slathered mayonnaise. But he doesn't eat it like a hot dog. He like just bites it in the center. Like, now more hijinks.
Yeah.
There's like, I would say like I want to know if singing telegrams were ever like a real thing. But this guy, he's like a singing telegram guy, but he's the love bug. He's in a bug costume, and he brings flowers and stuff to Phoebe Cates, saying, "Hell, your boyfriend wants you to meet him in the park tonight to apologize and stuff." So like, this is like the last scene. She's kind of normal, but this guy just keeps laughing maniacally. Like
that annoyed me.
Like you could almost make a horror movie with this guy. Like he knocks on your door and sings you a song, and kills you or something. But and then for even more hijinks, like talk about spending money out of a budget for a movie. He's got this pink VW bug with a giant fake bug on top, the love bug, and like I mean, it's a lot of like they do show his car driving through a shot later on, just like he's driving through the town for no reason. But like I was surprised, like for a cheap ass movie, to Well, I guess it wasn't a cheap ass movie, but like normally you wouldn't see that kind of attention to detail for like a 1 second.
Maybe that somebody really had that business.
Yeah, they might. Maybe they
borrowed the car.
But yeah, I would say not this one. He's like chugging the aspirin again, but the time before he went to sleep and he was chugging the aspirin, that's when I finally started getting suspicious.
Yeah.
That there was something wrong with him.
I feel like he's in a different house every time they do a shot.
Yeah, it does look slightly different. But yeah, his buddy. By the way, the amount of phone booths that are in this movie, it's like completely different than the era of cell phones.
Nobody would know what the hell those are if they watched it now. No young person.
Yeah, I remember actually like using. I guess cell phones were around the time, but I remember in like the late '90s, early 2000s, using phone booths to call people like while I was out.
Oh, I see where he is now. Oh, look at that poster. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like there was like a little kitchenette dining area behind the fish tank.
Yeah. It's like
I guess there is stairs in the window.
Yeah, there's like stairs to go up to the upstairs apartments. But
that was weird that they had that circus poster on there, huh?
Yeah. Huh. But yeah, the angel has wandered out of his apartment. He's looking for her, and there's a big glowing coming from the nearby woods or whatever.
See, like this too. Like I didn't understand what was supposed to be happening here. What's happening?
I like this part because it's almost like a Spielberg Amblin-esque. Like this part here, like look like the woods where they shot like E.T., like the fake woods where he's trying to communicate phoning home, and they even do a.
But like, what's going on here?
She's just like singing an angel song, and like the heavenly light is like. I think she's basically just calling to heaven because like. I'm pretty sure he goes up to her and he says, "Are you phoning home?" Like it's like there's even an E.T. reference here. Which is why I thought it was funny that, like I said, it looked like the woods in E.T.
I know, but is that really what she's doing?
I mean, it's like, what else, you know?
I don't know. That's I didn't understand.
She's communicating with God. She's making a giant light come all the way down from heaven.
But how come he didn't say anything? Because God talks.
Yeah. I mean, maybe only she can hear his voice.
But we heard him at the beginning.
But we were in space, though. Yeah, he says, "I'm sorry if I interrupted your whatever phone home," and then like yeah, it's the E.T. reference. But like I wonder this part if he was just like all this time she touches him, he's like oh, like I wonder if he was like stroking out from his brain tumor, or if it's just because he's so in love with her.
I think at this part, whatever she was doing, she just got like super like, you know, G'd up with God juice or something. That just touching her like made him do it.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just when she kissed him.
So yeah, so the singing love bug guy told Phoebe Cates to go to the park, and his buddies are like, "Meet us in the park. We'll go drink." And so like. Again, it doesn't like I get why she would go, but like it doesn't make sense why he would go just to drink with his assholes. But yeah, he brings the angel to the park, and then Phoebe Cates sees them together again. And like I like this part because it reminded me of like a Hallmark romance movie, like The Misunderstanding. And like honestly, because like I didn't really remember the ending of this movie when we were watching this the other night. Like I almost thought like him and Phoebe Cates were actually going to get back together because they had the whole misunderstanding part going on.
He just didn't want to leave her alone, so he brought her along.
Yeah, I mean, he can't leave her alone.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, while he's chasing after Phoebe Cates trying to explain...
She's upside down, dude.
Yeah, like, his friends grabbed the angel with
Looked
like
a
fishing
constantly...
net.
He constantly keeps trying to tell her, like, I don't want to break up with you, and, like, all she ever wants to be, like, all freaking out.
Yeah. It's like she keeps getting false hope that she'll get him back or whatever, but then like she never really like sees it through. She always just gets instantly pissed.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask you for some.
Oh, see how he's holding the feather? How he says, "Be careful, she's shedding."
Yeah.
But the feathers don't disappear.
They're not exploding in the glitter.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you for some continuity here. Our last movie we talked about was Johnny Be Good, which Uma Thurman got all mad at the supermarket because Johnny was on a football trip. Yeah, this is a great part. He tries to hold on to the back of the car and it's just pulling him along. He's like basically skating along the back of the car.
I was thinking his feet had to have been burning after that.
Yeah, unless they put like some special padding. That's some good driving there, man. I went through them beams and was the thing. But I was going to ask you, who would you grade as the more annoying, jealous girlfriend? Uma Thurman from Johnny Be Good or Phoebe Cates from Date with an Angel?
Well, Phoebe Cates. Because she really gets super weird, and then that whole scene at the end, and I don't know. Like, she's like nasty in this movie.
More Wendy's trash at his boy's lair. Again, Wendy's, man, coming hard with the sponsorship in this.
Hey, maybe it's like Sonic and Reservation Dogs, okay?
Yeah, it could be. I think just in general, like Wendy's in the 80s was big. Yeah, there goes, he's driving around looking for it. The love bug drives away. And then this sleazy hotel he drives by, that's where they have her. God. They have her all tied up, shit on her mouth.
Oh my God.
And like they think she's a little kid. They're blowing bubbles on her and fucking they have stuffed animals.
But what are they trying to do?
I think just get her not to be upset. Like they're trying to feed her French fries and stuff. But she won't eat. She's just mad now.
Well, just leave her tied up. Like what else do you want? You know what I mean? What do you want her to do? Like, I don't get it.
There's always a sweet Jeep parked outside his apartment. Yeah, the dad drives by his apartment, just sees all the dogs that followed her home. But that, like, I think that scene with all the dogs, that's when I really start liking the Angel character. Like, just realizing, like, how kind of, like, I don't know, how pure she was and her magical powers and stuff. I thought that was fun. And there's like it starts getting super Disney-esque Snow White later on in the movie. Yeah, these dorks, like basically their great plan is they're gonna have a press conference at like this little local auditorium to all the local press to unveil to the world that they have an angel, and it's like she's literally tied with the rope to a chair and shit in the back. They dressed her up in black robe too, which I thought was a weird choice for an angel.
She's like, I'm over this.
Yeah, she's sick of it.
Oh, she's trying to get the eye contact.
Yeah, she starts to mesmerize one of the guys with her stare. And the other ones are like, no, don't look in her eyes.
He's seeing the hearts flying around.
Yeah. Everybody falls in love with an angel when they see it. But, yeah, like, at this point in time, especially after they kidnapped her, like, I wasn't down with his boys at all. I thought they were assholes.
Yeah.
I thought he was really going to have to, like, come and beat... I mean, he kind of does fight them, but, like, I thought he was really going to have to beat the shit out of them. Yeah, he stayed at their lair all night, I guess, hoping that they would come back with her. Because, he saw them kidnap her. But, like, he starts looking more sicker in this scene, too, if you notice. Like, looks more like shit. His headache's been taking the toll.
Yeah, just that he has a shadow.
Yeah, the drawn-out shadow. I always thought that was, like, a real thing, the 5 o'clock shadow, like how they always portray in movies, but nobody really looks like, has that perfect outline around their face, like, the day after they shave. So this becomes a whatever... in hijinks. He has to race around. He's trying to find the town, whatever. I forget what it's called. It's like the press club is what it's called. It's like this little auditorium. So yeah, he drives through the town asking people where to go, and which is like, didn't you live here your whole life? Like, wouldn't you know where the press club was?
I thought that was weird too.
It's just an excuse. He pulls in this little local gas station. I love how busy this gas station is too. They're like overheating cars. Yeah. Now, this dude here, this Hispanic dude with the hose, he's like a real actor who's in a lot of movies, and like he's literally just an extra in this movie. The guy on the right, I can't remember his name but he was in a lot of movies throughout the 90s and 2000s. And it's weird that he's just literally an extra with like, I think maybe one line or no lines here.
I don't recognize him.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, and then he pulls out and backs up, and it's pretty funny. This mechanic guy's like, hey, you asshole. He throws a tire at the car. But yeah, this is like a mad dash to stop her from being unveiled to the world here.
Yeah, there's a lot of reckless driving in this movie.
Yeah. And, like, it's kind of funny, too, because, like, the way this setup is, where he's, like, rushing there and shit, like, this almost feels like something that should be happening, like, at the end of the movie. But it's, like, it's really just, like, I mean, we're probably a little more than halfway, but it's really just, like, the end of the second act here. But, man, he really reminds me of John Ritter with his facial mannerisms and everything. It's weird. Like, he got I think it's the mouth and the teeth he has going on.
I can't stop seeing it now after you said that.
John Ritter, yeah, it's weird. Like, especially if you knew John Ritter from his younger roles. But, I don't know, it's just like, at this point in the movie, it's kind of like, it's like all fun hijinks. Like, maybe you wouldn't take it too serious, but it's just like, at this point, like, you really just start feeling bad for him. Maybe that's intentional. You start feeling bad for him and the angel, because, like, everybody's just, like, such a scumbag.
I like how they're like, she was like, "Atta girl, don't let him treat you like that." Like, they obviously all see how wrong the situation is, that all these men have this girl tied up.
Yeah,
they're not doing anything to help her to get free.
Yeah, it almost looks like a weird kind of, like, gang rape situation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is where he starts beating them up. And I was like, oh, I guess, you know, especially at this point in the movie, I was like, I guess they're the bad guys of the movie, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah. It's funny because, like...
I don't like that. I don't like that she started turning, like, mean, like, got bad. I don't know.
But, I think she just...
Angels aren't supposed to hit anybody.
But I think she just did because, like, they were all fighting with him.
I guess she probably saw him.
Yeah, like, I think they're, like... I mean, obviously she's kind of copying what she's doing, but when she punched him, his friend in the face, it's very cartoony, though. I mean, nobody gets, like, a broken nose or anything.
See, like, here, she's just trying to kiss him and kiss him.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, it comes off as she's very nymphomaniac, but, like,
Jeez.
if you don't realize that she's trying to...
Save him,
yeah.
Maybe the stress of the situation is making him worse.
Yeah.
His headaches get worse.
This is pretty much, like, how I kind of took it, like, especially once, like, you know what's going on. Yeah, and then, like, that was kind of, like, a weird thing, but he's on, the TV cameras come up to him, and he's like, oh, why are you taking her away? And he's like, because she's mine. And then Phoebe Cates is watching it on TV. She's, like, cooking some shit. And, like, she starts, like, going fully mental now. Oh, our food catches on fire. More hijinks. Like, yeah, it's like, this movie will really slow down just to have some hijinks going on. Because it's kind of weird, too. Because, like, yeah, and her dad is confronting his friend, saying, like, I need her, where is she? And then, you know, basically he threatens to have his friends thrown in jail for the terrorist stunt. Well, it's not even that. He claims that they stole some shit from his house when they did that stunt on his party, when they broke in, like, fake terrorists or whatever, which, of course, isn't true. Nobody stole anything, but he's just going to tell the cops that to arrest these guys. And like, they kind of call his bluff. They're like, oh, yeah, sure, please, anything with jail. And then literally it cuts to them in jail, and they're like, oh, shit, this sucks.
Piss head.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's another way of saying piss ant.
Probably. You gotta ask Triple H, he would know. But yeah, I like it. They just cut till they're like in the jail. It's like funny too. Like, it's such like a manufactured little jail. But like, one thing, like, watching this movie again is like, they totally back then, like, they would make a movie that had like romance in it, and like, they weren't afraid to like not really cater it to women at all.
Yeah.
Because, like, this movie is really, like, it's a romance movie and everything.
I don't think it was supposed to be for women, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, and they totally didn't mind just catering a date movie towards men.
Yeah.
Because it's all, like, fantasy fulfillment that, like, you wouldn't want to marry, like, Phoebe Cates, and, like, you would find somebody who was actually, like, more beautiful and better for you. Now, this is where it gets...
part.
Yeah, this is where it gets really Disney-fied, where they're going out in these woods, And again, it's like almost like some ET woods, not quite, but like kind of similar. And with the lighting and the smoke in the 80s, you always had to have smoke outside, outdoors. The outdoors was always really smoky. But yeah, it starts getting very Snow White-esque with all the animals coming out. And like you see the birds keep always flying around, and they never fly too high to keep them in the camera shot because they got little ropes tied to their feet and stuff. But yeah, like look how smoky this clubhouse is to show the light coming through the windows and stuff. But yeah, they go and like really once they get out in nature and stuff, like it becomes like Snow White. There's always animals around here, and like I think that was intentional to be like that, you know?
Yeah, to look soft.
Yeah, he has a bag of groceries, but then he has some Wendy's in there too. And he's trying to show her bananas and other things, and all she wants is the fries. Yeah, she like because he always gets burgers and fries for both of them, and then she just steals both the fries.
God, why did she have to shove them in her face?
Yeah, she eats like a pig. I think it's just one of those things again, like we're saying, like this is a romance movie geared towards men. I mean, obviously it's for the joke of it, but it's just like
Their house is smoky too.
Yeah, like it's really like a lot of the
It's
interiors.
not just that like soap opera filter.
No, it's smoke. Because like whenever you want to show a light.
See, now it's all clear.
Yeah, now it's clear. There's no smoke. Whenever you want to show a shaft of light, you always got to smoke up the room so it shows up better.
Mm.
But yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, it's getting real high. She's
Yeah,
slamming
she starts
doors,
getting nasty.
shit's falling off windows or off the wall. I mean, so yeah, so like at this point too, like you never really know if he's exactly just like falling asleep or if he's just passing out because it was like brain tumor. But that's the thing, if you're watching this movie for the first time, like you don't even really know he has a brain tumor yet at this point. You're just maybe expecting it because they keep showing the bottle of aspirin.
Oh, we don't know what he has.
Yeah. Again, more product placement. He's always drinking those cans of Coke. Coke Classic.
And it worked because we're still drinking it like that today.
Yep. Still drinking those red cans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
There
this
it
part,
is.
look at all these animals. They're all, and the animals are living in harmony. There's a baby bear, some baby goats come up to give her kisses. She's got baby mountain lion sitting in her lap, another bigger mountain lion off to the side, deer walking through the shot.
Yep.
Yeah, this was your least favorite scene. Was he peeks on her bathing in like I guess this is a pond or a stream. I don't know. But it's like really weird though, like she's bathing, but like you don't see anything. They don't use it as a chance to show her. I guess she's just keeping her chest covered up. But it's a cool visual though because she's in the water with her wings flapping and stuff. And like he can't help but look at her, but he's kind of yeah, her hair's coming down covering her chest. But he feels splashing in the water. He's, like it seemed like you really didn't like. You felt like they were sexualizing an angel too much.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I come from a Catholic upbringing, so just like I'm not saying it needed to be like a legit angel movie, but it just kind of was like, all right, you kind of crossed the line there, right? It's like I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
but again, like we're saying, it's a movie directed at guys, so whatever.
Now we get a shot of Phoebe Cates in the convenience store talking to the girl clerk there, and they're looking at the National Choir, has her boyfriend in it, she gets mad, rips it up. Again, another weird callback to the convenience store for no reason. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, I think it's really, I mean, it's definitely trying to be a wacky comedy, but, like, I feel like that their intention, like, I don't think they were, like, intending it to really be, like, risque or sexual, honestly.
Yeah. I couldn't say. I'm not the audience for it, so.
Yeah.
It's just like the same thing with like weird science and you know, those kind of, like I'm not the audience for that, so I really don't have a say. You know, I don't.
This is my favorite part where she goes in the woods and again those baby goats are so cute.
No, she almost stepped on that rabbit.
The bunny rabbit, as she's running through the woods and her like just the like you have to
she
see.
made the discovery that her wing is healed.
Yeah, she takes the bandage off her wing, she's feeling better. And she, like, just this whole shot and the lighting and everything is it's very Disney-esque. And I love this part where she flies.
It was cool.
Yeah. Um, I feel like we're getting, like, what do you call it, the 4D film experience, because they showed, like, the skunk in the woods earlier, and I feel like the skunk smell is coming from the woods out here now. Like, we have woods right behind us, and we get visits from skunks quite often. But, yeah, and it's really good. It kind of, the visual effects kind of remind me of the Supergirl movie at the time, of her flying through the air and stuff. Yeah, she flies basically up to the clouds, up to heaven, and then she'll come back down, and she basically ends up bandaging her.
I do smell it now.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm telling you, smell-o-vision.
Holy moly.
And I think we still got about 25 minutes of this movie to go. We can't even escape. Excuse me, I'm choking on skunk
I didn't
fumes.
smell it when you said.
It's still not as bad as our old house. We had woods over there. We always get skunked out there too. But like, yeah, it's still bad when it comes. It's nasty. But yeah, she basically rebandages her wing, so he doesn't know that she can fly again. You didn't like that part of the story either, right?
Yeah, because I don't like that she's being deceitful. Like, that's not what an angel does.
But don't you think it's just because she loves him now? She doesn't want to leave him?
But still, yeah. I would have preferred if she would have stayed white meat.
But she's having conflict.
But then that makes her human.
Yeah. So, like...
That starts getting into all the stupid modern Marvel shit of like, but they're human and they have feelings and he wants to go be with Peggy.
Oh, you're talking about Captain America, yeah.
I just don't like that. It's like, either you're supernatural or you're not. You're superhuman or you're not. Like, I just don't like it. It's just like, I want him to be legit. I want her to be a legit angel.
Yeah. So, like, this is where they finally explain, like, really his whole story and his whole character. So he grew up wanting to be a music composer his whole life. And then, like... He was starting to work towards it and do it, but then like all the headaches came, and then he met Phoebe Cates, and she didn't like the idea of him trying to like live a musician's life, I guess. So he gave up on it for her. So like, yeah, like basically, I feel like the movie's trying to like basically swing you away from, if you haven't already come around to the idea that he should be with the angel instead. It's like I think definitely at this point. Like, you realize how conflicted he was. He was trying to wear... Like, that's why he was so herky-jerky in the beginning of the movie. Like, he's frustrated with his life.
But he still, like, is trying to say, like, he wants to be with the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he's being very, like, logical and reasonable, saying, like, you don't belong here, we could never be together.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing, too, is, like, there's really, like, not even, at this point in the story, like, you don't know. There's really no true sliver of hope that he could ever be with her. He stumbles there. Like, you can tell he's getting fucked up from his brain thing. But,
I did notice on this viewing how, like, there were a lot of times where she was, like, observing him. Like, when he was experiencing those things.
Yeah.
Like, one of the times when he was, like, looking for the aspirin and all that, like, she was just watching him. And then that time, too, like, when he fell down, she was just watching him.
Yeah. And here the cops have found his car out in the woods. And then, like, also, too, at the same time, his dad and his buddies are, like, running or driving there. Like, they think they know where he's at. But yeah, he has a little tape recorder. He starts playing some music, one of his compositions. But,
She likes it.
Yeah, you can tell she's digging it. So what did you think at this point in time? Because I wasn't really sure, like how he was going to go one way or another. Did you think he was still going to end up going back to his normal life, or like...
I mean, I guess, like, because... Even though, like, I mean, right now that we're talking about it, it's like, we're obviously, and the fact that we've watched the ending of the movie, like, we know what happened to him, in the end, but, like, I don't know, like, still even at this point, I was just, like, when I didn't know yet, like, I just figured, like, he would get her back to where she came from, and, you know, then he would go back to his life again. And that the girl would be fine, like, now that she had him back, you know?
Yeah. Because it's not like he was ever really trying to be romantic with the angel. He just was always trying to help her.
Yeah.
And all the sleazy people that was trying to take advantage of her. It's like, it's really only, I'd say I mean, obviously he looks at her and he falls in the trance of love or whatever that everybody does who looks at her. But, like, this time where he puts his music on and she starts, like, dancing with them, they start slow dancing. Like, this is the first time where really anything starts, like, I felt like was actually, like, oh, maybe, like, you know, because, like, this is, like, the first real romantic. Because before that, every time he's just like, oh, we gotta help you, Now, this is cool here. They do a crane up shot, and there's an owl in a tree watching them. And I thought, like, oh, maybe it's just a standard. The owl it doesn't turn his body, it just turns his neck around. I didn't know owls could just turn around and look behind them like that.
Yeah. I think they can, I want to say they might be able to do it all the way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it will go back. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he pretty much did turn it all the way. It was, like, almost completely straight looking backwards. It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a training thing, if you could tell an owl to look somewhere, if they made a noise or something that made him turn around and look.
Yeah.
But that was crazy, that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Phoebe Cates wakes up in a drunken stupor, and this is where you start realizing, like, oh, it's already been, like, hijinks, but now it's getting real slap-ass.
Oh, God, this part, I'm just like, oh, my God.
Yeah, she's fully dressed already. She has jeans on, but she jumps up and grabs a pair of panties and puts them over her jeans. And she starts putting another pair of jeans on. She's like, oh, what am I doing, whatever. But she still keeps the panties on the outside of her jeans. She throws on a sweater. And then she runs out, and she's like, literally, like, the rest of the movie when we see her, like, she's still wearing those panties on the outside of her jeans.
I think that her wearing those just really, like, made me the whole time. I was just like, oh, God. Like... Yeah. And then the fact that she keeps calling her a slut, and just like,
yeah.
Geez, like...
Well, she just thinks the angel is a slut, because she don't know she's an angel. She just thinks she's a girl who stole her boyfriend.
I know, but she was just being so nasty.
Harsh.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And then this is really, like, too much where they just have her do a pratfall already down the stairs for no reason.
And
it's
what's
like,
funny
shit.
is that if you were to watch, like, another kind of movie where, like, there's, like, intruders in a house or something and somebody pushes somebody down the stairs, like, that person would have died.
Yeah.
But on this, she just got back up and was like, tee-hee-hee, and she
like,
keeps
oh.
going.
She's, like, it's such a drunken stupor. Yeah, I thought they were already on the way to the woods, but yeah, the dad bailed out the friends, and now they're going to the woods. And then, of course, like, her dad he was waiting outside the jail the whole time, waiting for them to come out. But it's weird, too, though, that, like, now, like, Jim's mom and, like, Phoebe Cates' dad are teamed up, because, like, it's like...
Well, she had the hots for him at the party at the beginning.
Did she?
So,
I thought that was going on. So she's going to have an affair on Jim's dad with Phoebe Cates' dad. Like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
That maybe almost seems like more of a weird subplot that would have been worth exploring more than just like all the Wendy's eating French fries types of hijinks. Yeah, and now like he takes the bandage off and realizes her wing is fixed, and you know her powers should be back, and she should be able to leave. And I thought too, like it kind of made it like a little more like worthwhile, like the love story between him and the angel character, because like he actually really does just like out of like from the beginning out of an unselfish way just want to help her get back to where she's supposed to be. Like he did have like real good intentions for her. Oh, because it's time for her to go, she starts crying. She doesn't understand it, but it's like, yeah, he's trying to explain to her. He's like, yeah, it's, you know, it's more reason for you to leave, because we do that all the time here on Earth.
Like, I guess at this point I realized, like, she actually fell in love with him.
Yeah. She wasn't just a, what do you call it, a nympho songbird or whatever? Siren.
Well, she was, it seemed like, but now it seems like she genuinely fell in love with him.
Yeah. That was funny. Fucking Phoebe Cates is driving there all speeding, all drunk, and like, well, they're not playing it on the captions for some reason, but what was the song? Was it Earth Angel was playing?
Angel Baby by Rosie and the Originals.
Oh, okay, Angel Baby. I thought that was funny. And of course...
You were cracking up. With that.
Oh, it had me laughing. And what really made me laughing was when she tried to grab the knob to turn it off, and the fucking knob broke off. Like, oh my god, that was like...
I did think it was funny that they chose that instead of Earth Angel, because Angel Baby is a very ethnic kind of oldie song.
Yeah. And then, I loved it when she kind of crashes the Corvette into like this.
She doesn't deserve that car.
She does. They treat this car like shit. Oh, maybe she kicked the tire, but it looked like she kicked the car. And I guess we should say she has her dad's shotgun. I love these shots though with the light and the smoke coming through the fort. Like that was very cliche of movies back then, but still, it was like a cool look.
Yeah.
And the backlighting and everything on their hair. So now we're going to have like the big third act climax in the woods here when all the characters are going to converge and really slap ass hijinks are going to happen. Which like again
she says no way.
Yeah, showing that, I mean, you could have done like a more heartfelt, dramatic, satisfying ending. But again, because this is for guys, like, yeah, they really want to go for the 80s cocaine-fueled slap-ass hijinks.
Oh.
Yeah, I really like that shot when her hair was blowing up. Yeah, she disappeared into basically glitter. And then, like, now she's invisible. Like, because she senses Phoebe Cates is coming. So, like, this is pretty much like the fight showdown between Phoebe.
He says, like, I'm not feeling too good.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not feeling too swift.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I cannot stand her face. Look at, like,
her drunk faces. Like, yeah.
Oh, my God. She's so gross.
They totally could, like, I'm kind of surprised they didn't, really, but, like, they totally could have done the ending where she shoots him and kills him that way, and then...
I regained my feminine dignity.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Where's that angel bitch,
Oh, she's so nasty.
She's doing some Jim Carrey fish faces here, man. It's really over the top.
Ugh. He's like being like 100% honest with her, and she's just treating him like crap. I hated that.
Yeah. It's funny how goofy it gets at the end here, because like if you made this movie now, it would be like the all-time Razzie Award winner. But at the time, it was just a regular movie.
Here's where they didn't say she's there still.
Yep, she turned invisible and she starts beating the shit out of Phoebe Cates. Like you get some good Bruce Campbell style acting for Phoebe Cates here. Oh, she gets kicked in the butt. No,
not the butt.
I know.
Oh god.
She goes face first into some.
This is my least favorite.
Yeah, it's really just mud, but like it looks like she got dookie smeared all over her face. It's so gross now. Brown all over her mouth. She's literally a brown nose now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Phoebe Cates.
This went on too long.
Yeah, Phoebe Cates goes, "You kicked me in the hiney," because like it was the invisible angel beating her up, and like the dude was just standing there with his arms down. But she's like,
oh God,
she's convinced that he was beating the shit out of her. That's like another dark thing that couldn't happen now. It's like people thinking a guy was beating up a girl, even though he wasn't. Yeah, she starts crying into her dad, and his mom gets there. She starts crying. He kicked me in your hiney. Your hiney? Yeah, my hiney.
Oh,
blah, blah, blah. Over and over.
Like the whole rest of the movie, she's saying slut and bitch, and like, she can't say like ass or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised, like the dad character at least, like, you know, like he knows that there's an angel. You'd think he would be more understanding.
It's just like he's like suffering and nobody's noticing.
Yeah, he's really like getting all like, oh, like ready to pass out and shit with this headache shit. Yeah. Like the guy keeps grabbing him and shaking him too, like. If you have a pounding headache, somebody's shaking you, making your head bobbing like that, makes you feel shittier. Yeah, now the crew shows up to save him.
My heroes.
It's like basically everybody just wants to keep fighting, but yeah. Basically, he's gonna like
Oh my god.
pass out and almost die here. And like these guys are really doing nothing. Like they're standing on the sidelines. Like they've been involved in all the hijinks all movie long, and now like they're not even doing anything.
Ugh.
The guy still wants to steal this angel for his advertising campaign.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but he's still smart ass to them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like almost like they're gonna tear him apart. And everybody fights in such a big ball of like whatever that like they don't even realize he like pretty much dropped dead to the floor. And now she comes back. It's a cool special effect. She sends like a kind of like these energy waves through. And yeah, I really like this scene.
Dang.
She screams at them. Man, the guy's mom really turned out to be horrible. I think she might actually be the worst one.
Oh.
Yeah, this is awesome too. Like, she uses her powers to make a rain cloud go over just Phoebe Cates and her dad.
Wherever they go, it moves.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then eventually they split up, and then it's like some composited fake rain and lightning bolts hitting them. And like again, like Phoebe Cates really did nothing wrong. I mean, she overreacted more and more, but like she really did nothing wrong. That's why I felt a little bit conflicted. Like I ended up not liking her character by the end, but at the same time, it's like you have to wonder, was she really a bad like fiance or whatever, or did she just really like? I know he said like she didn't support his dreams or what he wanted to do for his music career, but like, was she really that bad, or was she driven insane by the circumstance? You know what I mean?
She like directed their attention to him on the ground.
Yeah, because like they weren't even like noticing still like what had happened to him.
Yeah.
She flew away. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, she's like the uppity, you know, because like she was just expecting him to go along with the role of, you know, that party at the beginning, and like she really didn't care about his feelings or what, you know, how he was feeling about having to play that role. So I mean, that's really her. She really is a spoiled brat.
Yeah. So no, this is like kind of the most.
Let's see if the captions don't say what he says.
Yeah, this is like the most important dialogue. The doctor walks into the waiting room.
Cerebral tumor in a very advanced stage. Wow.
Yeah, has he been complaining of severe headaches? So the doctor comes in, and it's weird. Like he comes into the waiting room, and then the waiting room door closes, and like you can. Like, I heard it, but it's very muffled. Like, the dialogue gets very muffled.
You'd have to turn it up loud to hear what he was actually saying.
Yeah. And, like...
They didn't, like, do a voiceover. They didn't do, like, a voiceover in post or anything so you could actually hear what he was saying once the door closed.
But I just thought it was weird, like, they didn't actually have, like... I mean, there was an actor there, but that doctor, but you only saw his back and the back of his head. You think they would want to dramatize it better with, like, actually showing the doctor's face, like, talking to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really cool scene, too. Like, at this point, like, I was finally... Especially now that, like, all the wacky Phoebe Cates bullshit was over. Like, I was, like, really into the movie now. Like, really the third act. Like, I liked all these special effects. And I like that kind of, you know, blue screen. Before they had green screen, they used blue screen. I like that composite shot of her flying into the balcony and then the town in the background. You can see in the background. It's like a matte painting kind of thing. But, like, yeah, she comes in and sees him. He's in a hospital bed, and he's got all these electrodes and sensors and shit on his forehead and stuff, and he's passed out. Like, I mean, he's pretty much is dying at this point.
Yeah.
And,
so what's happening here?
So, yeah, so she takes, like, all the...
Like, what is she doing?
She takes all the electrodes and shit off his head. And she's...
Like, what was that?
She's just, like, wiping over his head or whatever. Like, hovering her hand over his head.
But, like, why? What was that doing?
She's just sensing what's going on with his brain. And also she had to help him out, too, because like, he wasn't awake. Like, she had to give him some power to wake up. And he's telling her, you know, I'm sorry I yelled at you. I didn't want you to go. And, like, pretty much this is, like, the money shot of the movie when finally she's going to get her chance to take him and wrap her arms around him, and her wings actually wrap around him, and then, like, we get, like, a big kind of, like, exposure of light, and she's going to end up healing him in a second.
He's, like, explaining the whole story now.
Yeah. But,
this is sad. I really needed to watch this one with captions, because I'm, like, getting emotional this time. I was, like, so, like, perturbed by this point in the movie when we watched it the first time that I was like so annoyed with everything, and like I didn't know what was going on, but now I'm like actually getting emotional.
Like I picked this movie for Valentine's Day. I bought this Blu-ray a little while ago, and I've been like itching to see it because I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. But like I didn't really remember it because I guess just when you're a kid and it's just every 80s movie is slap ass. Like I didn't realize it was such a slap ass comedy. I thought it was more of like a straight ahead romantic comedy. So, like, all this stuff with, like, the romance, like, I actually really did, like...
She's sad.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And he tells her, you know, he loves her, and they finally kiss. And I love this shot where she, you know, they hug and her wings wrap around him. I thought it was awesome. But it's like, yeah, like, if you really, I mean, you don't know until it happens, but, like, yeah, the kiss makes him pass out, like, before, but she actually, you know, like...
She doesn't want to now.
Yeah, because, like, if you don't know what, you know, if you haven't seen the movie before, basically, you think she's just going to take his soul to heaven and he's just dead, but something else happens here. But, yeah, I mean, it's I mean... Honestly, as like slap ass as like the earlier part of the movie is, like all this is like really well acted. This is really kind of beautiful imagery here and stuff with the wings and the light. I really like this part.
It's just like her face was so like, I don't know, like why is she doing that face? She wasn't doing it before.
Like her orgasm face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was just kind of like, what is happening here? Like, I was so confused, but I mean, obviously I totally get it.
Yeah, she's like making the noise in there.
Okay, but I don't understand what happened there. Like, why did it have a different outcome?
Well, I mean, you probably couldn't understand with her French ass accent, but you'll see.
Oh yeah, the 1 day pass or whatever.
Yeah, she like so basically.
On good behavior or whatever she says.
Yeah. So basically his friends come in and it looks like he's dead in the hospital bed and the electrodes are off him, you know, and like he can't wake up or whatever at first. So like you really think he's dead. You think she took his soul to heaven, but he's going to wake up for a second. And then out of nowhere, like a really hot French nurse is going to come in. And you just think, oh, wow, he's staying at a great hospital, a sexy nurse, but it's actually her, and she got turned into a human. Like, this dialogue will come up here in a second, but, like, it's funny, too, because, like, I don't even know if they notice it's her, and it's so obviously her. Just
well, so they kept her in the dark in that shot where the door opened.
It's, this shot where she turns around, you see her face better. And obviously, Emmanuel Burt is a French actress, and like.
So I guess she was like healing him.
Yeah.
I don't know, because then why did she engulf him?
Well, that's what she tells his friends like he's gonna be all right. I have it on high authority, and like they back off, and like they're in amazement. They realize it's her. I like this guy. He went to back out the door, but he missed it. He's like, oh wow, yeah, thank you. Like they're just all so happy and relieved that their friend's gonna be okay. But yeah, like, watch what she says now. He finally wakes up. And, like, he feels, like, all rested and better. He's not all sick and dying anymore. Yeah, he's, like, all confused. And he asks how, and she says, an answer to an angel's prayer.
So she asked for it.
Yeah. I think that's why she was like, because I didn't see it with the sound again, but when she was making that orgasm face, I think she was like kind of communing and, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. but she's like fully human now, so it's like, you know, she's saying, I gotta leave of absence. So.
That was still cheesy AF.
What?
Can you take me out for some French fries?
Yeah, her accent is super like, can you take me out for some French fries? But it's like, that was the only thing, is like I was telling you, like Dino De Laurentiis, he was like notorious for dubbing over the actors. Like when he made Flash Gordon, the Australian Flash Gordon guy, he dubbed over for the entire movie, Flash Gordon's dubbed. Whereas like this was like literally one scene, they could have just dubbed her voice, but they're like, no, just have her do it with her thick ass French accent.
Oh look, the writer was an owlish man in church.
Oh yeah, the director.
Oh, was that the director?
Yeah, Tom McLaughlin. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, he was the guy who caught on fire, I guess. Yeah, wow, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't put that together. So, like, yeah, that was it. So, like, yeah, it's just really weird. Like, I think it's a good story. It's just the execution in the movie is a little weird, like, how a lot of it is. Because, like, they're just, like, you gotta make the whatever goofy, over-the-top comedy for the dumb people come to the movie. But, like, when you kind of know the story of the movie...
It's better on the second viewing.
It is.
And honestly, it's better for me with captions. Because, like, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff I missed when we watched it the first time.
Yeah. So, like, where My Demon Lover was about Scott Valentine getting turned into a demon and trying to, like, whatever, have a romance with a regular girl. This one was about an angel girl having a romance with a normal guy. But, I think it's good, though, because it's, like, one of those things where, like, I feel like she fell in love with him because she saw how good he was and, like, how much he was always trying to help her. And he, like, whereas, like, every other human she encountered was trying to exploit her. Like,
he just was worth falling in love with. He was a good guy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And, like, that's what I was telling you. Like, you would never see a romance film. Like now, like especially now in 2023, every visual effects in 65 millimeter by Boss Film Corporation. But like especially now, like you really got a dogpile on like how terrible men are and women don't need men and all this kind of shit. Men are shitty. But like this one, it's like, it's kind of like, it's kind of like
feather consultant.
Feather consultant. It's kind of like a real man's fantasy because it's like. Yeah. You could have somebody who like Phoebe Cates and like you don't even want to marry her because she's so annoying, and then just like the whatever 1 in 1 trillion chance that a beautiful angel will come to Earth and save you, and you're dying of a head tumor, a brain tumor, and like so it's really like a male fantasy. It's almost like a male version fantasy of like a Cinderella type story. So like. Yeah, that's what's just so cool about it. And, like I said, because even when we were watching it the other night, like, it was just the nonstop slapstick comedy after slapstick comedy. Like, even I was like, all right, like, get the movie going already, whatever. But it's like, once you, like, really kind of know how to decode the movie and understand what's going on, like, it really is a movie with some depth and some heartfelt emotion. So I appreciate that about it. Like, I appreciate the... what do you call it, outrageous premise of the film. And I appreciate, at the end, everybody loves a good, happy ending, especially one that it's a little bit of a surprise you can't see coming.
I was 5 years old.
You were 5 years old when this movie came out. Dang. That's why you never... Have you ever heard of this movie at all?
No, I did. That's why when it first started and I saw it was him, I was like, I think that's the guy from All My Children. Like, yeah. I was so surprised because I didn't think he ever did anything else. Because it seems like those soap opera actors, like, that's all their career is just that role in the soap opera. Like, I never realized that he did anything else. I really don't think he did that much of anything else, honestly, other than this movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember looking it up after we watched it, I was, like, looking it up to see, like, if he'd done anything else, but he never really did that much. I think he did little stuff here and there, maybe, but, yeah, I don't think, other than the soap opera, I don't think he had any other roles.
Yeah, like, it's really weird, because, like, he's very, like, distinctive to me, like, I remember him, but, like, yeah, it's Michael E. Knight, but, I really only know him from this movie. Like, I really, like, I don't know what it is about him, unless there's something else. I'm trying to like Google here on the fly, but of course it's got to be a pain in the ass. But yeah, he's best known for playing Tad Martin on ABC soap opera All My Children. There's a picture of him now older on there. Like I guess he stayed on that show forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. Like I mean, he looks good for an older guy, but it doesn't quite look like him anymore.
Yeah, his face is very familiar to me.
Oh, he was in the movie Hex. I remember that. I think that's like the airy, gross date comedy. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's just a bunch of TV shows. Yeah. He's now on. He's been on a lot of soap operas. Like even recently, he was on The Young and the Restless for a year. 2019, the president says now he's on General Hospital. So yeah.
That's funny. They did a crossover with his character on One Life to Live.
Yeah. Dang, it looks like he started on All My Children in 1982, which would have been about 5 years before this. So yeah, it's kind of cool that a
Told you.
yeah, soap opera. Well, I wasn't debating it, but that a soap opera actor like made the crossover.
Told you.
So yeah, so as far as appointment Valentine's Day viewing, like we made this film. Like how would you say it rates on the romance meter?
I don't know. You're the audience for this movie. This is your decision.
I would say on the romance meter it's a 10 out of 10.
Dang.
Because he got a. I mean, that's the thing is like you don't really get to see that many movies.
But he wasn't even in love with her most of the time. He still was trying to be with his other girlfriend.
Well, yeah, that's just because he was a good guy. He was loyal and whatever. But I mean, he got
That's
his
what
happy
makes
ending.
him romantic.
But like
He was a good guy.
yeah, like he had good intentions. But like I think too, it's like whenever you can watch a movie where a woman comes to save a man, it's a rare and it's a good excuse for a romance. So yeah, so I would rate it highly, but I would also put the caveat that like the first time you watch it, you don't really know what's happening. You're going to think it's kind of a junky movie.
Or watch it with captions.
Yeah,
first.
all the hijinks. Well, even then, like you can sit there and watch it with captions, but you're still going to be like why is all this goofy shit happening? Like you kind of have to know like how the story plays out in this like totality to really, get how quality of a film it is.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's another Valentine's Day in the books of the movie Graveyard. So we did My Demon Lover, Date with an Angel. Let's see, next year we'll do like I don't know, Sex with a Succubus or whatever.
Oh,
We'll have to find some other outrageous.
Is that really a
supernatural
movie?
No, I don't know. I mean, it might be, but yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Now that you brought it up.
Sex with a Succubus coming Valentine's Day 2024. But there's probably a horror movie about that.
That sounds like it. That's why I was like, that's why I believed you. Like,
Yeah.
I bet you there really would be a movie.
The 1991 classic Sex with a Succubus.
Nope. No movie.
No, it didn't
on
come
Pornhub,
up.
Succubus movie porn.
Yeah, I'm sure Pornhub is probably still with it.
No, there's nothing.
Also on Pornhub, you can see all the NFL referees in their fleshlight videos. But yeah, so that's it. So I want to thank
Why
you.
do you keep bringing that up
What,
on
the
my
fleshlight?
show?
Because just what
Is
the
this
NFL
gonna be
referees did.
a running ritual now of every
Yeah.
show we do together? You're gonna bring that up.
Yeah, you gotta talk.
It's gonna be the Easter egg in every show now.
You gotta talk about the fake football league that runs on fleshlight bribes.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so we want to thank you for pushing your wives and girlfriends to the side, or your boyfriends or husbands, and making time with us on the Valentine's Day to watch and talk and discuss the love classic Date with an Angel.
The romantic classic.
The romantic. It was a romance for the ages.
Oh my god.
Built on Wendy's French fries. All right. So until next time, we'll see you back here in the movie Graveyard.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.